In today's cook, we are making chicken and ham bakes. Now, whilst the sausage rolls in Greg's are absolutely elite, I think that my bakes might be better. These are proper easy to make, and I think you're going to absolutely love them. So this is the shopping list. You're going to need one chicken breast. You're going to want some salt and pepper, some olive oil. You're going to need some flour and some milk. We're going to want some flavorings in the form of ground white pepper and garlic granules. We're also going to need some butter, an egg, some Parmesan cheese. We're using the pre-rolled puff pastry to make this super easy, and I'm using some ham that I cooked last week in the air fryer. There's a video on the channel to check that out, but you could alternatively use some sliced ham from the supermarket, or a couple of rashers of bacon would go down a treat. So the first step is to sort out this chicken breast. I always like to give it an absolute beating, tenderize it before cooking, okay? Just make sure it's nice and tenderized. Some of these chicken breasts can be a little tough. So we stick this in the air fryer. I like to season it with the salt and pepper. Give it a spray of the oil before we put it in, and we set this to 200 degrees for approximately 14 minutes. That goes in, and about halfway through, of course, we want to flip it so it's cooked evenly. You can give it some additional season and another spritz of the oil. We're now going to start making the sauce. This is what's going to bring all of the filling together. So we need to warm up our milk in the microwave for a couple of minutes. You can see the chicken just came out there. Stick it in your bowl to rest while you put everything else together. So in the saucepan, we've got the 15 grams of butter. Melt that down until it's nice and frothy, and then drop in 15 grams of plain flour. Cook this through for about 60 seconds until the flour is cooked and you've got a nice cream-like consistency. Then we're going to start dropping in 150 mils of milk, and you can see as soon as it drops in, it starts to solidify, starts to turn it into a bit of a paste. We want to drop it in slowly, okay? We don't want to throw it all in one. We want to amalgamate this milk one at a time. You can see I probably had the heat on a little too high, and that's why it's browned a bit too quickly. So I would recommend turning it down, but still worked out really well in the end. Slowly pour in this milk and it will start to cream up and become nice and thick and not returning into a paste. You can see it starts to become more of this sauce, and then put it all in, and you want to cook that for about 3 minutes until it becomes really thick, really smooth. Now in the video I did last week for the croque-monsieur, which I also made a bechamel sauce, I made quite a runny sauce. In this one I let it go much thicker, not solid, but going that way because we didn't want it to be running all over the place when we put the bakes together. So you can see that over this time it's getting thicker and smoother. It's becoming a real nice sauce. And when it's almost done, we want to just put in these flavorings. I went for a sprinkle of the garlic granules, and then probably about half a teaspoon of ground white pepper and some Parmesan cheese. I think I was a little stingy on the Parmesan cheese there. I probably could have put in quite a bit more, but c'est la vie. Once it's all in, give it a nice little stir so it's fully combined. You can let that cool. As you can see, it's probably a little bit too hot for now. We don't want to be putting that into the pastry, so let that cool. You can put it into a plastic container and then put some plastic over directly right onto the sauce, and that will stop it getting a skin whilst you're waiting to put these together. So you want to prepare your chicken and the ham. You can do this any way you want. I decided that I would do it in nice little even cubes, and you can see I've gone for the amount of ham that I've gone for is slightly less than the chicken, more chicken than ham. Then we're going to stick this back into our sauce and just give it a stir. And you can see what I was talking about just a minute ago. The sauce is actually really, really thick, but this is fine because once it's in the bacon, it's cooked, it's still going to have that really gooey nature. We don't want to be biting into it and it all pouring out. That can be a real problem. So now we can start putting these pasties together. We've got our one sheet. Okay, and it's up to you to decide how big you're going to go. I decided that from this one sheet I could make 3 healthy sized bakes and pasties. So I distributed the chicken and the filling into that, split it into 3, and then I started just to with my fingers push down the edges so it was kind of crimped. You want to do it all the way around. Then you can get your trusty fork out and really give it a good squeeze. So this is really nice and tight because you don't want any explosions. Now, I actually believe that I could have put in quite a bit more filling, but I was a bit worried that maybe it would explode at the sides. But I think you could really go generous on the filling upwards, but make sure it's clear all the way around so that you can crimp those sides without there being any filling. Okay, you can give it a few decorative lines with the edge of the knife, and then I like to give it a little hole in the top so it allows a little bit of a steam, and I think that's one of the reasons why they didn't explode, because it had that ability to escape some steam. So as I say, I could have put in another spoonful of the filling. So you can see I went with 1 for each of the baskets in this air fryer, and it went in there 200 degrees for 14 minutes. And with about 4 minutes to go, I decided to flip them up because it was looking a little bit anemic on the bottom. But as soon as it was done, you can see how well that 4 minutes on the underside, they were really well cooked all the way through. The pastry was nice and crispy and golden, even though the bottom didn't have the egg wash, but you can see from the presentation side that the egg wash gave it an incredible golden shiny glaze. They look incredible. So obviously got the indentations of my air fryer on the bottom, but that's fine. You can see that the knife went perfectly through it, and the pastry is cooked all the way through. Nice filling. Hi guys, welcome back to the taste test. Today's cook was a chicken and ham bake or pasty, depending on what you want to call it. And this came about because I had a few ingredients I just wanted to use up. So I had a sorry solo chicken breast in the fridge, and I had the end of some ham that I'd cooked the other day. Now I cooked that also in the air fryer, that ham. It's on another video. As long as that video came out well, it's already on the channel, okay? And I wanted to use them up, and a pasty is something that lends itself very well to using up bits and pieces that you've got, because it's basically some lovely crispy pastry with a filling. Okay, so we all know if you've got any beans, stick them in a pasty, and you can throw anything in with those beans and it's going to be great. Any bit of meat or cheese or whatever, you're going to enhance it. You're going to come out with something good. Okay, and that's kind of what we did today. We had the chicken, we had the ham, and essentially we made a really nice thick sauce to bring it all together. Okay, and then we cooked it in the air fryer for about 15 minutes. I did turn it over because the underside wasn't fully done, in my opinion, the pastry. And you can see how golden it is. The egg wash has given us an incredible golden color, and also you can see, hopefully, the layers of the pastry, the layers of those pastry. It's like so good, so good. So Let's have a taste test. Oh, beautiful. That is absolutely lovely. Just shows you what you can do with some ingredients that you got left over that may have gone to waste. It's a beautiful, lovely filling. I think I maybe could have put a little bit more of the filling in. I didn't use all of what I did because I was worried that it might spill out the sides. But you know, as you can see, this has fared incredibly well in the cooking process. No spillages whatsoever. So as long as you crimp it around the edges, you should be fine. This is, I say, 15 minutes in the air fryer. Make sure you do both sides. And you're going to come out with something really good. So if you like what you see, give me the thumbs up, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time.